Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here my presentation about Introduction to Literature. Contents: the definition of literature, three genres of literary works, poetry, prose, and drama. Part 1. The definition of literature. Definition of literature. Literature is the total of preserved writing belonging into given language or people. Literature is a term used to describe written or spoken material. Literature is used to describe anything from the creative to the more technical or the scientific works of the creative imagination, poetry, drama, fiction, and non-fiction. The body of written works produced in a particular language, country, or age, or the body of writings on a particular subject, such as scientific, arts, etc. Part 2. Three genres of literary works. Genres of literary works include poetry, prose, drama. Poetry. Poetry is a genre of literature that uses aesthetic and rhythmic qualities of language such as phonesthetic, sound symbolism, and metry to evoke meanings in addition to or in place of the literal or mundane meaning. Poetry has very long history dating back to prehistoric times with the creation of hunting cants and wild songs. Poetry is considered by many to be the most intense literature genres. It allows a writer to express their deep emotion and thought in a very personal way. It relies heavily on figurative language, rhythm, and imagery to relay its message to the readers. Poetry is a type of writing that uses beautiful language to express deep thought and feelings. Poetry can help you understand your emotion and talk better, and it also helps you learn how to write more expressively. The basic element of poetry: meter, rhyme, scheme, stanza. Part 3. Prose. The prose is a form of language that has no formal that's not The prose is a form of language that has no formal metrical structure. It applies a natural flow of speech, an ordinary grammatical structure, rather than rhythm structure, such as in the case of traditional poetry. The prose is typically written in paragraphs, although three are some exceptions, such as in the case of drama or fiction. Prose can be found in books, magazines, newspaper, online article, blogs, etc. It is the most common form of writing. The prose is typically divided into paragraphs, and it uses regular grammar. It can be rather serious or funny. The element of prose. The first one is theme. Theme is general idea of a story. The second is setting. Setting is the information of where the story occur and the time of the story. Setting also include a context, especially society, beyond the surround of the story, like culture, historical period, geography, and occupation. Plot is the sequence of event. Point of view is the different angle to see the subject. Character and characterization. Character is an individual, usually a person, who play in a story. Characterization is the method used by the reader to develop a character. Symbols is the language style used by the author. The author. Atmosphere is condition and emotion in a story. Part 4. Drama. Drama is composition of prose or poetry that is transformed into a performance on stage. The story progresses through interaction between its character and ends with a message for the audience. The element of drama. The first one is theme. The theme of a play refers to its central idea. It can either be clearly stated through dialogue or action, or can be inferred after watching the entrance performs. The theme is the philosophy that forms the base of the story or a moral lesson that can that the characters learn. It is the message that the play gives to the audience. Plot. The order of events occurring in a play make it is plot. Essentially, the plot is the story that the play narrates. The element, the entertainment value of a play depend largely on the sequence of events in the story, the connection between the event and the characters in the theme form of integral part of the plot. Characters. The characters that form a part of the story, are interwoven with the plot of the drama. Each character in a play has a personality of its own and a set of principles and beliefs. Actors in the play have the responsibility of bringing the characters to life. The main character in the play, who the audience identifies with, in the protagonist, he or she represent the theme of the play, the character that the protagonist conflict with, in the antagonist or villain. Dialogue. The story of the play is taken forward by means of dialogues. The story is narrated to the audience through the interaction between the play's characters, which is the form of dialogues. The contents of the dialogues and the quality of their delivery have a major role to play in the impact that the play has on the audience. Setting. The time and place where a story is set in one of its important parts. The era or time in which the incident in the play take place influence the characters in their appearance and personalities. The time setting may affect the central theme of the play. The issue rise, if any, the conflict and the interaction between the characters. Performs. It is another important element of drama, as the impact that a story has on the audiences is largely affected by the performance of the actors. When a written play is transformed into a stage performance, the actors cast for different rules. The way they portray two characters signal to them, and the way their performances are directed are some important factors that determine the play's impact. Music. This element include the news. This element include include the use of sound and rhythm in dialogues as well as music composition that are used in the plays. Visual element. While the dialogue and music are the audible aspect of drama, the visual element deals with the scans, custom, costumes, and special effect used in it. The visual element of drama, also known as the spectance, renders a visual appeal to the stage setup. The costumes and makeup must suit the characters. Part 5. Literary works. Here I choose the novel of Sniper by William O'Flaherty. The Sniper by William O'Flaherty. The story began on June 9th in Dublin. This story tells about a war that doesn't consider who the opponent is. Even brother can become opponents. In this case, civil war can cause a family to split up to protect the country. Where war educate people to be more object. War is a cultural tradition in a country, especially in Dublin. War can bring many bad effects for the state, society, economy, and the mentality of those involved in it. In The Sniper by William O'Flaherty, there are two characters, both of whom are sniper. The main characters in this story is an unnamed Republican sniper. Meanwhile, the antagonists in this story are the sniper enemies of the Free State to wage civil war, and the old man who informed the sniper whereabouts. The story takes place before dawn midnight. In the middle of the story, a Republican sniper was shot in his right arm and his rifle could not be used anymore. Only a gun remained, but he kept trying and never gave up. With his injured condition, precisely with his current state, he was contemplating and looking for a situation so as not to be killed by the enemy. The main theme rise in The Sniper by William of Flaherty story is the horror of war, especially civil war, which can destroy a nation, environment, family to an irreversible degree. Stories written about human cruelty are sure to intrigue and read in the readers. One of the attractions in The Sniper by William O'Flaherty is the surprise found in the last sentence, where the sniper goes to report to the company commander, but halfway through he curious about the identity of the person he just killed. After knowing the identity of the person, the story ends. I think the sniper is a little disappointed with what he has done but of course it is his obligation to defend his story, his country, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. This is my presentation. And the rest I see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.